camera rolls on. The ratings are waiting on the next sensation. The camera rolls on.
One other question, and the song Good Old Boys Like Me, is there a story behind that?
Well, that was about the time of Dukes of Hazzard or something. I was thinking that that's not really the South. That's not really the South I grew up in. And so I wanted to tell about the one I grew up in. I had a fishing buddy at the time who was, Tom Connolly wrote a lot of history books, taught history at South Carolina, and we were sort of professional Southerners for a few years there with our Southern lit and everything. And I wanted to put all those themes, reverence for the land, the race, the father-son tension, all those things that are typical Southern themes, put them all in a song, and I did. I got most of them in there. I helped Tom do a lecture at South Carolina, and at the end of the lecture, that song hadn't been recorded yet. I was lecturing on Southern lit, some kind of Southern lit thing, and played that thing for those kids, and they just adored it. They jumped to their feet. They're all Southern kids. Jumped to their feet, hooting and hollering and applauding. And so I thought, wow, this thing really has something. That night at Tom's house, all the professors were there, and somebody said, Bob, that's good, but it'll never be on the radio. It's too literate. But what do you know?
Another thing, the line in it. I want you to tell me where that line came from. Those Williams boys, they still mean a lot to me, Hank in Tennessee. Tell me about that line.
I have no idea.
Tell me about it.
Probably read that somewhere. It's probably not even original, and I'm giving all that credit for it.
That's a killer line.
Originally that darn thing had a suicide in the end, and it was so bloody.
Tell us about that. Nobody's going to know about that.
It had a suicide in it. His friend, the friend who burns himself up on bourbon and speed, but I was smarter than most, and I could learn to talk like the man on the 6 o'clock news. When I was 18, Lord, I hit the road, but it really doesn't matter how far I go. Well, originally those last two lines were, da-da-da-da, I swore I'm not going to die like that. And, saying that the friend who was burning up on bourbon and speed had killed himself. And Bill Hall and Waylon Holyfield talked me into changing that, thank God.
That's a Southern anthem. It really is.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I grew up in the South Dakota, and I grew up listening to country music, and got made fun of when I was a kid, listening to country music.
Yeah.
And I said, and that was one of the songs I go, that's why I listen to country music. Listen to this.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it.
Good.
And
I don't mean good.
Good. Now get out. Now,
I played on that record. I played that
tell us that.
penny sounding guitar on there is mine. That riff is mine. I walked in the studio and they were having trouble. I couldn't find anything. So I walked out there and started playing that riff. It just hit me. It wasn't in the original work tape. And so got lucky.
Bob, thank you. We're going to shoot some stills with you and for the book. And this was great interview. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
awesome.
you, Dak.
Yes.
You've been watching a LITtle Productions presentation.